Emory doesn't care if a pawn is defended or not. And now he plays absolutely brilliant sacrifice. Emory Tate versus Veruzhnakobian. Veruzhnakobian is an Armenian grandmaster with a peak rating of 2685, and he currently rated 2600 in the game, what was played in 2006. Just before the video starts, if you want to get better at chess, subscribe. We're about to hit that 1000 milestone, and I really appreciate it. Enjoy the video. Right, so Tate normally starts with e4. However, Emory Tate actually plays knight f3, and I want to tell you something about this knight f3 move because it's actually quite an important part of the game. So Veruzhnakobian was probably expecting Emory to play an ultra aggressive e4 opening. So with this move knight f3 off the bat, Emory Tate has already knocked his opponent off guard, and because Veruzhnakobian was not expecting knight f3 at all. So Veruzhn continues with d5, very common. I just want to say these knight f3 lines, they can really just transpose into normal d4 lines. After a move like d4, you're already in a very normal d4 opening. However, d4 is not played here, and Emory actually plays e3. So a bit of a different system. c5 is played now, Veruzhn taking a bit of the center, and now b3. Some of you may be familiar with Hikaru Nakamura, and Hikaru Nakamura loves to play this opening entitled Tuesday. So knight f6 is played, and now a bishop b2. So Emory developing not normally how he would, because normally he's got this pawn on e5. Tate's opponent Veruzhnakobian actually opts for bishop g4, so we can't move this knight anymore because the queen hangs. h3 is played. Emory is questioning the bishop. What do you want to do? Do you want to exchange here? Veruzhnakobian actually goes bishop h5, so he still keeps the pin. However, a move like g4 end the pin whenever Emory really wants. Emory actually plays a very nice move here. He goes bishop b5 check. Developing the tempi is a very important chess principle. It means that you want to castle your king, develop your pieces, and if you can develop your pieces while forcing your opponent to react, that's even better. That's called with tempi, because black now has to react. And now actually knight d7, and you might be wondering why on earth was knight f to d7 played. You're probably wondering why knight b to d7 was not played. The reason why this was played is because if this knight had actually come here, Emory here actually ends up winning a pawn. After g4, bishop g6, Emory can actually go now g5, kicking the knight. The knight's probably best square would be e4. Play knight e5 now, and now we're threatening to take here. So I can move like this. Well, this would actually just be completely over because we win your queen. After knight e5 would be played, bishop f5, defending this knight. However, we can actually play queen f3 now, attacking this bishop. And say if knight d6 was played, looking to hit this bishop and this, well, after a simple move like queen d5 here. Problem is, you might be thinking, oh no, our bishop. Well, we can actually checkmate and won here. So for that reason, knight f to d7 was played. Now Emory actually continues with castling, gets his king to safety, e6, and now Emory actually decides to go bishop e2. In chess, when you've got a pin on your queen or your king, it can be very, very annoying. With bishop e2, Tate's brought one of his pieces back into the game because now it can move. Knight c6, after knight c6, Tate actually goes c4, so attacking the center. In chess, a very important principle is to attack the center. Whoever controls the center pretty much controls the game. The center is the most important part of the board. You always want to be looking at ways to control the center. So move like d4, move like c4 here. In the game, Emory actually ended up going with c4, knight b6, and now knight a3, adding another defender to this pawn. And now we see rook c8. After rook c8, d3, solidifying this. So now we can take, we've actually added another defender to this c4 pawn, and now a6. So now this knight can't really come to b5 anymore. So knight c2, and after knight c2, f6. This is a very ugly move because black wants to develop his bishop, but this pawn would simply hang. So f6 was actually decided by Veruzhnakobian. And now queen e1, very nice move, very positional move, because we're going to try open up this. Now we can get the queen in. Now bishop d6, and after bishop d6, e4. So blasting open the center, castling, and now knight d2. If you look at it, this is probably white's worst piece, this bishop on e2. As you see, this bishop is very nice on this diagonal, this dark square bishop, because all the pawns are on light squares. And if you look at this light square bishop, all its pawns are on light squares, which means it doesn't have as much capacity to kind of roam the chessboard. So knight d2, trying to exchange an active piece for white's pretty bad piece. And now bishop f7, and now f4, so really expanding. And now this queen is really coming into the game. Queen c7, so actually targeting this pawn, and now queen h4. dc4 was played, and now dc4. So some tension has been resolved in the center, and now e5. Now Tate plays a really nice move here, bishop d3. You might be thinking, what on earth's the idea? Doesn't this just hang a pawn? Well, actually, if this is taken, then Emory's idea was actually to go e5. So we hit this bishop now, and if this is taken, then you simply just hangmate and won. So this would actually be completely over if this was taken, because e5 discovers a checkmate threat and attacks the bishop. bishop. So after bishop d3, we actually see rook f to d8. And now knight e3. So really, Tate really bringing his knight into the game. As you see, this knight actually went from a3 to c2 to e3. Now Tate can actually transpose this onto the king side, and may be a very deadly attacker. Now knight d4. The d4 square is quite a weakness of white's. And now knight d5 was played in the game, and now if we actually look, this knight is way more harmonious with the other white pieces. As you see, this bishop and this knight still complement each other. This knight is looking at the f6 square, so in a way, it connects with the rook, it connects with the queen. And also, if this is taken, then the bishop comes alive, and also, if this is taken, which it was actually in the game after knight d5, e5, as you see, is actually freed up another square. So as you can see, it's kind of the battle of the knights, but this black knight's a bit of a lone wolf, a bit of a rogue knight. It's not really supported by any other pieces. This bishop shut down, this bishop's just staring into this, this knight's off the board, these two rooks are wondering why they're even playing this game. So this position is pretty bad for black. Anyway, in the game, we actually saw knight e5 and now e5. And now we got a new square for the knight, and we actually threatened to take here. So for that reason, bishop g6, and now we actually see f5 closing down this bishop. The bishop returns back to its sad home on f7, and now we see knight e4. And after knight e4, can we just have a moment of appreciation for how Emory Tate, an international master, rated 2391 in this game against a 2600 grand master, a very, very strong grand master. Emory, an attacking player, is actually positionally outplaying Varuzhin Jacobian. This looks like a game of Anatoly Karpov. Emory Tate, not even a positional player, and he's out-positioning not just someone of his caliber, someone 2600. So h6 was actually played in the game, kind of a weird move. Now rook a to e1, and now after rook a to e1, we actually see king f8. Now rook e3. However, Tate actually missed a move here. Knight f6 would have actually been a knockout blow. Now after this, and now say if you try exchange queens, I know some part of you wants to exchange queens here and think you're good. Well, we can actually go queen h8 here. The only move would actually be bishop f8, and after a move like f6, we're threatening to go f7. This would be actually all over. If you try to get really greedy with the queen trades, and you accidentally blunder your queen. So actually after this would actually be very, very strong for white, and white's already winning in this position. But in the game, a knight f6 was not seen, and so we actually saw rook e3, so still a very strong move. White has a massive space advantage. This bishop may as well be converted into a pawn, because it does the exact same as a pawn here. Knight is, even though this knight is maybe on a good square, is very rogue, very disconnected from its team, so it doesn't really do too much. And in chess, you really need all your pieces to work together to really kind of mount an attack, kind of mount success in the game. Rook e3 was played anyway. Now actually we saw king e8, so Varuzhin is actually just shuffling his king back and forth, probably just stunned by what he's witnessing. Queen a5 was played, and now rook g3, and now we saw bishop f8, so trying to defend this pawn that was under attack by the rook. Emory doesn't care if a pawn is defended or not, and now he plays an absolutely brilliant sacrifice, bishop h6. G8-6 was played in the game, and now knight f6 check. King e7, only legal move. Complete octopus knight restricts the squares, so the king can only go to e7. Knight g4 was played, and now king e8. And now you might be wondering, okay, what happens if we go here? Well, that doesn't really help, because we really transpose into the same line. Even a move like rook e3 here would be absolutely a KO, absolutely knights out for Jacobian, because the problem is it's very hard to prevent these discovery checks, and we're also threatening to maybe hit this bishop. This queen can come into f6. It's absolutely over. Another move could have been a move like king d6 here, but after a move like knight e6, and if you take this, then we have a very, very dirty move, rook g6, making a mating net. Might ask, can we take here? Well, actually, after queen f4, only legal move, king f6, this, you actually can get checkmated very easily. So that's why king e8 is played. Only move that doesn't completely lose on the spot straight away. Most people here would take with this knight, regain the material. However, Emory Tate is not most people, and actually goes rook e3, even though he sacrificed pieces. And this is a trait of Emory I've seen a lot. He will sacrifice pieces, he will have the chance to regain the material instantly, and he will still wait. He'll make sure he's got the perfect position to do it. King d7 was now played, getting off this really nasty diagonal. And it doesn't really do too much, because knight e5 anyway. King c7 was seen in the game, and now we actually saw knight f7. So Tate regained his piece, and he's actually up 3 pawns. Rook e8 was seen, and now Tate plays a very, very classy move here. Emory Tate plays a very positional, very, very nice move here, a move that I really admire, queen e1. So an attacking player offering queen trades, obviously when it favors him. So now he's attacking this queen, and he's actually threatening to take here twice. So for that reason, Varuzhin Jacobian actually decided to take here. Rook f to e1 was played, and now there was a trade here, went h h5, g4 was played, and after takes, Tate actually has the 2 passed pawns pretty much all over. Bishop d6 was played, knight d6, king d6, after g5, Jacobian, 2600, very strong grandmaster, resigned. Because the problem is Tate's up 3 pieces of material here, and this will probably be a very easy conversion for Tate. If you want to see more Emory Tate videos, I've got 2 right here. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.